Picture this. It's a calm summer evening on June 27, 1980. Itavia. Flight 870 takes off from Bologna, Italy, headed for Palermo. A routine one-hour domestic flight with 81 people on board, families going on vacation, business travelers, crew members looking forward to landing. But this flight would never reach its destination. It would instead become one of Italy's most haunting and enduring mysteries. Just 50 minutes after takeoff, as the DC-9 passenger jet cruised high above the Tyrrhenian Sea, it suddenly vanished from radar screens. Poof, gone. Moments later, fishermen and people along the coast reported a terrifying sight, a fiery explosion in the night sky. The plane's wreckage plummeted into the dark waters near the tiny island of Ustica. There were no survivors. What brought down Flight 870? The initial theory was a terrorist bomb planted on board. It was a common fear in Italy during that era, a period known as the Years of Lead. But as investigators started piecing together the mangled fuselage, a far more sinister picture began to emerge. The evidence didn't quite fit a simple bombing. Instead, experts found damage consistent with an external explosion, like a missile strike. But why would anyone fire a missile at a civilian airliner? This is where the story spirals into a complex web of international intrigue and alleged cover-ups. The most prominent theory is that Flight 870 was an innocent bystander, caught in the crossfire of a secret aerial battle. The skies over Italy that night were apparently buzzing with military activity. Some believe NATO jets were engaged in a dogfight with a Libyan aircraft. And here is the most explosive part of that theory. The real target may have been none other than the Libyan leader, Muammar Gaddafi. Intelligence suggested his personal plane might have been secretly flying through the same airspace, on the same route, at the same time. Was Flight 870 tragically mistaken for Gaddafi's jet? Was it shot down in a botched assassination attempt? If this sounds like a Cold War thriller, it gets even darker. What followed the crash was a systematic and deeply disturbing cover-up. Italian authorities were accused of hiding documents, doctoring evidence, and intimidating key witnesses into silence. Crucial military radar tapes from that night mysteriously went missing or were erased. Officials gave confusing and contradictory statements, muddying the waters for decades. Over the years, a chilling number of people connected to the investigation died under suspicious circumstances. Air Force officers who were on duty that night, investigators who got too close to the truth, even politicians involved in the case. Their untimely deaths added another layer of fear and conspiracy to the Ustica Massacre. For the families of the 81 victims, the grief was compounded by the maddening search for answers. For decades, they fought a lonely battle against a wall of silence. They weren't just mourning their loved ones, they were fighting their own government for the truth. Was it terrorism? A catastrophic accident? Or was it a deliberate act of war covered up by multiple nations to avoid a global scandal? Finally, after years of legal battles, a breakthrough came in 2013. Italy's highest court ruled that the plane was indeed brought down by a missile. The court declared that the Italian military had failed to protect its own airspace and its own citizens, ordering the government to compensate the victims' families. But the ruling stopped short of pointing a finger. It never answered the ultimate question: who fired the missile? To this day, critical documents remain classified. NATO, the United States, and France, whose military jets were likely in the area, have consistently denied any involvement and refused to fully declassify their records from that night. The Ustica Massacre is often called Italy's Tunguska, a sudden, devastating event that left behind a crater of unanswered questions. It's a symbol of how truth can be buried under layers of secrecy and geopolitics. Every June, the families still gather to honor the 81 souls lost in the sky that night, their calls for transparency echoing for over 40 years. The skies above Ustica hold a terrible secret, and until it's revealed, the ghosts of Flight 870 will continue to haunt the silence of that summer night. If you find yourself captivated by these deep, unsolved puzzles and enjoy trying to connect the dots, you're in the right place. We love exploring the intricate details of cases like this, And if you want to get into the true crime investigation mindset, we've got something for you. Check out the link in the description for some cozy, mystery-themed merch that's perfect for your next deep dive. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as compelling as we do, please hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with a friend. We'll see you in the next investigation.